Good morning. Good morning. Welcome or welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Tuesday, July the 15th, halfway through July. We're here to look at the new releases that are published this week, and every day of the week, Monday through Friday, we look at a different genre. On Tuesdays, we look at crime fiction and thrillers, the darker side. Not cozy. These are more gritty. Quick announcements. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. We do sprints every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons for a total of 10 hours of your reading pleasure. Oh, I didn't even get this moving. Let's get that moving. There we go. All right. First up, Daniel Silva has a new one. 25th in his Gabriel Alone series. Good for him. Gabriel Alone has been awarded a commission to restore one of the most important paintings in Venice, but when he discovers the body of a mysterious woman floating in the waters of the Venetian lagoon, he finds himself in a desperate race to recover a lost masterpiece by Leonardo da Vinci. The painting, a portrait of a beautiful young girl, has been gathering dust in a storeroom at the Vatican Museums for more than a century, misattributed and hidden beneath a worthless picture by an unknown artist. Because no one knows that the Leonardo is there, no one notices when it disappears one night during a suspicious power outage. No one but the ruthless mobsters and moneymen behind the theft and the mysterious woman whom Gabriel found in a watery grave in Venice. A woman without a name, a woman without a face. The action moves at breakneck speed from the galleries and auction houses of London to an enclave of unimaginable wealth on the French Riviera, and finally to a shocking climax in St. Peter's Square, where the life of a pope hangs in the balance. Lisa Scottoline has a new one. She has moved to standalone thrillers. I read the one she released last year. I can't think of the title right now, but I did like it a lot. Good afternoon, Helen. Gone from red hot to slightly chilly today over here. Here too. Here too. Yesterday was 100 degrees. Today we're in the highs in the 50s. The body's going, it's going to be cold if you're 40 to 50 degrees cooler. But I'm glad to hear that because I was hearing it was very hot over there. The Unraveling of Julia. Lately, Julia Pritzker is beginning to think she's cursed. She's lost her adoptive parents, then her husband is murdered. When she realizes that her horoscope essentially foretold his death, she begins to spiral. She fears her fate is written in the stars, not held in her own hands. Then a letter arrives out of the blue informing her that she has inherited a Tuscan villa and vineyard. As one does. But her benefactor is a total stranger named Emilia Rossi. Julia has no information about her biological family, so she wonders if Rossi could be a blood relative. Bewildered, she heads to Tuscany for answers. There, Julia is horrified to discover that Rossi was a paranoid recluse who believed herself to be a descendant of Duchess Caterina Sforza, a legendary Renaissance ruler, and not very nice. Stunned by her uncanny resemblance to Rossi and even to Caterina, Julia is further unnerved when she unearths eerie parallels between them, including an obsession with astrology. Before long, Julia suspects she's being followed, and strange things begin to happen. Not even a chance meeting with a handsome Florentine can ease her troubled mind. When events turn deadly, Julia's harrowing struggle becomes a search for her identity, a race to save her sanity, and ultimately a question of her very survival. At first I was like, not, but I'm kind of intrigued now. And if you heard that, that was Keo coughing up a hairball. So I'm gonna check that out further because I did like her standalone last year, and she's a good author in general. Bearing the Lead by Corina Lawson, second in the Trisha and Grayson mysteries. Trisha Connell has it all. A successful freelance career as an award-winning crime reporter, a promising relationship with Edmund Grayson, a former FBI agent turned security expert, and a life she's fought hard to build. But behind her perfect facade, Trisha is hiding a dark secret, one that could destroy everything she's worked for. Years ago, Trisha made a devastating mistake, and now that haunting past is threatening to shatter her present. When a relentless and twisted serial killer targets her, determined to make her pay, Trisha's carefully constructed world begins to unravel. As the stakes rise, Trisha fears a terrifying choice: expose the truth and risk losing her career, her love life, and everything she holds dear, or keep the secret buried and risk becoming the killer's next victim. I don't think there's a choice there. The closer the killer gets, the more Trisha's worst fears come to life. Time is running out, and the line between past and present is blurring. In a race against time, Trisha must confront her darkest secrets and outsmart a merciless killer before she becomes his final victim. Can she survive long enough to unmask the killer and protect the life she's built, or will the truth destroy her? Carved in Blood by Michael Bennett, third in the Hannah Westerman thrillers. When Detective Inspector Jay Hamilton stops at an Auckland liquor store for a bottle of champagne, it is supposed to be celebratory. His daughter Addison has just gotten engaged. Instead, he is suddenly gunned down at the register by a balaclava-clad assailant in what appears at first to be a random act. The getaway car is quickly recovered, containing the cell phone of a young Maori man, Toa Davis, who is immediately the object of an all-out police search. Jay's ex-wife, former Maori detective Hannah Westerman, asks in on the investigation. You have a conflict. Her instincts suggest that the vehicle was meant to be found and that Jay had been targeted. The gun used in the assault is distinctive, and she learns that a local gang leader, Erwin Rendell, who had threatened Hannah in the past, owns such a weapon. After Davis turns up dead, the hunt for Rendell is on. When he slips through the dragnet and escapes the country, and in the wake of Jay's death, Hannah decides to rejoin the force, acknowledging she now has unfinished business. End of row one. Death of an Ex by Delia Pitts, second in the Vandy Merrick series. Queenstown, New Jersey feels big when you need help and tiny when you want privacy. For Vandy Merrick, that's both a blessing and a curse. Now that Vandy's back in Q-Town, her services as her hometown's only Black woman private investigator have earned her more celebrity or notoriety than she figured. Keeping busy with work helps Vandy deal with the grief of losing her daughter, stitching the seams, cementing the gaps. The memories will always remain, and they come crashing back to the surface when her ex-husband, Phil Bolden, walks back into her life. Promising everything, returning home, restoring family, until she answers her door to the news that Phil has been murdered. And Vandy decides Phil is now her client. It's hard to separate the Phil that Vandy knew from the one Queenstown did. She sees him and their daughter in Phil's son, who attends a prestigious local high school. She sees the layers of a complicated marriage with his wife. She sees all of Phil's various roles: parent, husband, businessman, philanthropist. But which role got him killed? Sounds really messy. Everyone is Lying to You by Joe Piazza. Lizzie and Bex were best friends in college. After graduation, Bex vanished, leaving Lizzie confused and devastated. 15 years later, Bex is now Rebecca Summers, a traditional Instagram influencer with millions of followers who salivate over her perfect life on her ranch with her 5 children and handsome husband, Gray. Lizzie is a struggling magazine writer, watching reels while her young children demand her attention. One night, out of the blue, Bex calls Lizzie with a career-making proposition: an exclusive interview with her about her multi-million-dollar business venture and an invitation to Mom Bomb, the high-profile influencing conference. At the conference, Bex goes missing and Gray is found brutally murdered on their ranch. Lizzie finds herself plunged into the dark side of the cutthroat world of social media that includes jealousy, sordid affairs, swingers, and backstabbing. She must learn who her old friend has become and who she has double-crossed to try to find her, clear her name, and maybe even save her life. Her Many Faces by Nikki Cloak. 5 men, 5 stories, but are they ready for hers? Her father remembers the sweet schoolgirl, her childhood friend, bonded over a shared fascination with conspiracy theories. Her lover regrets ever falling for her. Her lawyer believes she is hiding something. A journalist is convinced he knows exactly who she is, a cold-blooded killer. But which is the true face of Catherine Cole? The reality lies somewhere between these very different perspectives. Hmm. And that's all they say. That's how you do it. Last Stop Union Station by Sarah James. Hollywood, 1942. Jacqueline Love's acting career is flailing. Suddenly on the wrong side of 40, parts are drying up, directors are calling her difficult, and Humphrey Bogart has definitely stopped taking her calls. Desperate to cling to stardom, Jackie takes the only gig that will have her, the Hollywood Victory Caravan, a train full of movie stars crossing the country to fundraise for the war effort. Jackie wouldn't call herself patriotic, but with her life's work on the line, she'll do anything. When a fellow star dies on board, everyone assumes the death was a tragic accident, but Jackie isn't so sure. Stuck in Chicago's Union Station, Jackie enlists the help of Grace, one of the few women in the police force, to investigate. But difficult outside of a movie set is dangerous, and when the pair fall into a homegrown Nazi scheme, Jackie must ask herself what's more important, her career or her country. End of that row. Matchmaking for Psychopaths. Tasha Correll. When Lexi's fiancé runs off with her so-called best friend on her birthday, her carefully crafted fairy tale life shatters. Having survived horrors in her past, she was determined to finally get her happily ever after, and she's not giving up yet. To distract herself, Lexi throws herself into her unusual job, matchmaking psychopaths, a specialty her clients are blissfully unaware of. But the loneliness is crushing, so when a gorgeous, overprotective new client named Aiden insists they're soulmates, and another intriguing client, Rebecca, seems perfect to fill the best friend-shaped hole in her life, Lexi can't help but find the attention comforting, despite her own professional boundaries. Then a human heart appears on Lexi's doorstep. As more threatening packages arrive and her fiancé mysteriously disappears, she must confront a terrifying question. Did she inadvertently match herself with a killer? Yeah. Between Aiden's claims that her fiancé will never return, Rebecca's growing presence in her life, and her own dark past resurfacing, Lexi's matchmaker instincts are being tested like never before because someone is determined to ensure her story ends with a funeral. Well, they all do. The Felon's Ball by Polly Stewart. In their in their younger years, Trey McCready and his best friend Ben Marsh were distributors and enforcers for the local distillers who made their small hamlet of Ewald, Virginia, the moonshine capital of the world. But that was years ago, and now the only tie to their criminal past is the Felon's Ball, Trey's annual birthday party where they regale the crowd with, they spelled that wrong, with tales of their youthful exploits. But when Ben is found dead after Trey's 50th celebration, it's clear those connections may not be past at all. Finding Ben's body propels his much younger secret lover Natalie, Trey's daughter, to search for Ben's estranged son Lanny and to find the truth about his killing. Her quest will lead to a battle with a police department that refuses to ignore her family's history and to form unexpected connections with Hardy, the sheriff investigating the case, and her brother-in-law Jay, who had a very public fight with Ben on the night of his murder. When Jay goes missing on the morning he planned to meet Natalie, she begins to wonder if her mother was right and if the past should be left in the past. That kind of felt all over the place, didn't it? Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the way I read it. The Lake Escape by Jamie Day. Will this be the best week of their lives or the last? Julia, David, and Erica grew up together, spending summers at their idyllic Vermont Lake homes for as long as they can remember. Now adults with their own sullen teens, endless mortgages, and low-voltage sex lives, the three friends have amassed secrets over the years. This summer, David is eager to show off his newly renovated home, which now blocks his friend's cherished lake views and his much younger girlfriend. He also unwittingly brings a nanny with a hidden agenda. What could possibly go wrong? When David's girlfriend mysteriously vanishes after a shouting match, Julia and Erica wonder just how well they know their lifelong friend. The lake harbors a harrowing past. Two young women with no known connection vanished without a trace 30 years ago. Did the lake take another? As a search is mounted, an intricate web of lies, deceits, and betrayals spanning generations starts to surface, and everyone finds themselves in danger of becoming the next victim of the lake or something darker. This Stays Between Us by Sarah Oaks. Is it Oaks? OCHS. 10 years ago, a study abroad program like no other, a month-long trip of education and adventure exploring everything Australia has to offer. And at first, it's everything best friends Phoebe and Claire, excuse me, and the rest of the student group expects: sunshine, whirlwind romance, and all-night parties. But it isn't long before cracks begin to form within the group, ones that lead to Phoebe's disappearance. Now, it's the call Claire has been waiting for years for. Phoebe's remains have been found. It's time to return for her and the others to go back to Australia. But as Claire retraces their steps and tries to piece together exactly what happened to her best friend all those years ago, it quickly becomes clear everyone in the group has secrets, including Claire, because only she knows what really happened that fateful day 10 years ago, the day she killed her best friend, and she'll do anything she can to keep the others from learning the truth. Oh, why? Why give the twist in the summary? End of that row. Writers and Liars, They'll Kill for Inspiration is the tagline by Carol Goodman. 15 years ago, Maya Gold attended a prestigious and very exclusive writers' retreat hosted by billionaire Argos Alexander on the Greek island of Eris. It's where she wrote her first book, the one that should have launched a brilliant career, but something dark happened on that island, a betrayal that has hung over Maya ever since. Now Maya finds a familiar envelope in the mail. It's an invitation to return to Eris, and according to social media, she's not the only one from that first retreat who's been invited back. This could be the second chance Maya needs to jumpstart her dreams, a chance for reconciliation or revenge. Almost all the writers from 15 years before have returned to Eris, bringing unresolved resentments with them. Soon the guests learn that their illustrious host is absent, though he has left instructions for them to participate in a contest. You know, that's where I'd leave. That's where I'd leave. I'm sorry, this is too much 10 Little Indians. Whoever can write the most, or otherwise known as, and then there were none. Whoever can write the most suspenseful mystery while on the island will win a fortune and literary acclaim. But this is no harmless game. When the guests gather in the morning to share their first chapters, they find Argos Alexander dead. Leaving right now. Tensions simmer as the guests try to determine who's capable of murder, not just on the page, but in real life. On an island full of mystery writers, anyone could be the killer and anyone could be the next victim. Trapped together until the next boat arrives from the mainland, which it won't. They must sort out old grievances and figure out how to trust one another or die one by one. We are kind of running out of time, so we might be doing some drive-bys here. House of Beth by Carrie Cullen, a haunting and seductive tale of a young career woman who slides quickly into the role of stepmother in a life that may still belong to someone else. Perhaps a homage to Rebecca. Don't know. Until Allison by Kate Russo. The night Allison was murdered, Rachel could have stopped it. The Goldens by Lauren Wilson. A delicious, intoxicating debut thriller about a young woman who is swept into a glamorous world of fascinating influencers, glittering parties, and possibly murder. Our Secrets Were Safe by Virginia Trench. Someone knows what really happened the night Sophia Eliades died. The guilty have escaped unscathed for a decade. Can you untangle this web of lies and discover the terrible truth? Oops. Coded Justice, third in the Avery Keene series by Stacey Abrams, or ghostwritten. Former Supreme Court clerk Avery Keene is back, trying to put the past behind her at a prestigious high-end law firm in Washington, D.C. Those are the books. Well, there's a couple I might check out. I am currently reading 3 books right now, though, so I probably shouldn't. All right. Thank you for watching. If you're watching now, thank you for watching later. If you're watching later, appreciate it. So, tomorrow we'll be looking at romance and women's fiction. Keo is resettling, not realizing we have to leave pretty soon. I do have sprints tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2.5 hours. We'll listen to ambiance. You can read. You can be creative. You can just close your eyes after a tough day. Whatever it is that is your self-care, that is time, space, and ambiance carved out for you because you deserve it. You need to gift yourself the self-care. Hope you have a good Tuesday and you're reading good books. And as the banner says, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.